Two clubs, one city, and a rivalry so fierce it's been etched into history through film, literature, and countless police reports. Welcome to the world of Millwall versus West Ham, a clash where football is just the surface of a much deeper story. In this video, we'll unravel the complex web of history, culture, and tension that fuels this notorious rivalry. We'll explore how economic hardship, territorial pride, and media sensationalism have shaped this conflict across generations. Oh wow, look at that. Anyway, from the dockyards to the bright lights of the Premier League, we are diving into every layer of this intense feud, a place where the beautiful game collides with the darker side of human nature. In 1885, Millwall Rovers was founded by Tin Smith from the J.T. Mortingtown Food Factory on the Isle of Dogs. A decade later, Thames Ironworks FC was born under the leadership of Dave Taylor, a foreman at the Thames Ironworks and Shipbuilding Company. Despite being less than 3 miles apart, the two clubs represented distinct working class communities, setting the stage for a rivalry driven by competition for jobs and territorial pride. The first competitive clash between Millwall and West Ham took place on December 9th, 1899 in the FA Cup. In the early years, Millwall dominated, remaining unbeaten in 12 meetings with West Ham between 1901 and 1903. But this rivalry wasn't just about football. It was deeply rooted in the socio-economic landscape of East London. The harsh conditions of working class life shaped the identities of both clubs, turning them into symbols of pride, struggle, and solidarity for their communities. The feud extended beyond the pitch, embodying the hopes and frustrations of their supporters. As the competition on the field grew fiercer, tension spilled over into the stands. In 1906, a match between the two clubs led to multiple brawls among spectators, a prelude into the violent confrontations that would come to define this rivalry in later decades. The 1926 general strike apparently was the turning point. A rift emerged between the fan bases, as most West Ham supporters joined the strike, while supposedly many Millwall supporters continued to work. This perceived betrayal fueled lingering resentment, and further deepening the animosity between the two groups. From that moment on, the rivalry evolved into something more dangerous, a clash that would shape the identity of both clubs and their supporters for generations to come. The Millwall-West Ham rivalry raged on through the decades. The 1930 FA Cup clash, which West Ham won 4-1, showed early signs of crowd trouble. During World War II, football provided a vital escape from the harsh realities of daily life. But the 19 wartime fixtures between the clubs only deepened the resentment. By the 1950s, tensions at post-war matches escalated further, making the dawn of what would later become widespread football-related violence. The 1960s marked a pivotal shift. A new kind of football fan emerged, one with a more aggressive edge. Organised hooligan groups or firms took shape, and the rivalry between Millwall and West Ham reached new, dangerous heights. By the early 1970s, West Ham notorious firm, the Intercity firm or the ICF, had gained a reputation for their coordinated and calculated approach to violence. They were a coalition of various West Ham supporter groups, including the East Essex London firm and the Mile End Boys. The ICF would leave a chilling calling card at the scene of violent confrontations. Congratulations, you have just met the ICF. Millwall's bushwhackers emerged around the same time, matching the ICF in both reputation and ferocity. These two firms turned the rivalry into something more dangerous than mere football fandom. Encounters between Millwall and West Ham became flashpoints of violence, with tensions constantly threatening to boil over. One of the earliest significant clashes occurred during Millwall's legend Harry Cripp's testimonial match in 1972. What was intended to be a celebration quickly descended into chaos as the two firms clashed violently. This incident set a troubling precedent, proving that even non-competitive fixtures could erupt into violence. Unfortunately, tragedy struck in 1976 with the death of Ian Pratt, a Millwall supporter who fell under a train at New Cross Station while being chased by West Ham fans. This harrowing event marked a dark turning point in the rivalry, inflaming the already bitter hatred between the two sets of supporters.